A pod is a basic Kubernetes object. A pod is a set of one or more containers scheduled on the same physical or virtual machine that acts as a unit. I am Balaji Chandrasekharan. Today, I'll be discussing how to create, view, and destroy a pod in Kubernetes. To begin, you need to launch a Kubernetes cluster. Once you're in the Kubernetes sandbox environment, make sure you're connected to the Kubernetes cluster by executing kubectl get nodes in the command line to see the cluster's nodes in the terminal. If that worked, you're ready to create and run a pod. To create a pod using the mypod image, run the command kubectl run mypod --image equals nginx latest -- restart equals never -- port equals 80. This will create a pod named mypod, running with the nginx image on Docker Hub. In this command, mypod is the name of the pod. --image equals nginx latest specifies the container image to use. --port equals 80 specifies the port that the container exposes. And by setting the flag -- restart equals never, we are telling Kubernetes to create a single pod rather than a deployment. Once you hit enter, the pod will be created. You should see the message pod/mypod created displayed in the terminal. The pod can also be created using the YAML file. Create a file named podexample.yaml with the following content. Run the following command in your terminal. kubectl apply -f podexample.yaml. This command tells Kubernetes to create a pod based on the specifications provided in the podexample.yaml file. kubectl get pods command displays a list of all pods in the default namespace along with their status. kubectl describe pod mypod command is used to describe a specific pod. Replace mypod with the name of your pod. This command provides detailed information about the pod, including its events, configuration, and state. The terminal will now display the YAML for the pod, starting with the name mypod, its location, the Minikube node, start time, and current status. You'll also see in-depth information about the nginx container, including the container ID and where the image lives. kubectl logs mypod command shows the logs of the container running inside the pod. To delete a pod, you can use the kubectl delete command. kubectl delete pod mypod command is used to delete the pod using its name. Replace mypod with the name of your pod. This command deletes the specified pod from the cluster. kubectl delete -f podexample.yaml command is used to delete the pod using the YAML file. This command deletes the pod based on the specifications in the podexample.yaml file. Pods are an important unit for understanding the Kubernetes object model, as they represent the processes within an application. In most cases, pods serve as an indirect way to manage containers within Kubernetes. In more complex use cases, pods may encompass multiple containers that need to share resources, serving as the central location for container management. These kubectl commands will help you manage the pods in your Kubernetes cluster effectively. We've reached the conclusion of the session and look forward to seeing you in our next one. We hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching my video.